let's continue with the TRANSCEND book. So, I hope last class what all we have learned it is useful, because we have done already complete human reproduction, reproductive health, and then plant reproduction. So the three things you have to solve EPL and go to the TRANSCEND. Now I am starting with the first part of the TRANSCEND, that is in the human reproduction. Yesterday I could solve some of the questions. I would like to solve now some more questions so that you will feel it is very simple, because a lot of questions which are being given in TRANSCEND are already asked in a lot of NEET examinations. So you just have to have the NEET complete book with you, the TRANSCEND book. And any other, the question numbers, I don't want to put the same numbers, you can search the questions later, because whatever I have the TRANSCEND book, it is little older version, therefore question numbers are changing. Therefore, next when I get the really soft copy and all, with that I will write the right questions. I don't want to take the book and do it, that's the reason I am writing the questions and explain all the not the four options, I will give you the answer. Then you will get to know how these questions have to be answered. So that's why just some questions I have just written here. One by one I will keep explaining you if they are really important, which have some new thing to be explained, that I will explain you in detail. Okay. So first question is onset of menstrual cycle, right? Which I discussed in the first class itself when I spoke about the human female reproductive system. So what is menstrual cycle beginning? It is called as the menarche. I hope you know this. The females at the age of around 10 to 11 years of age, they start their first menstrual cycle. This we call it as the menarche. The answer for this is menarche. The opposite of this is the process or the time where the females stop menstruating. There will be a reproductive rest happening, that we call it as the menopause. This is menarche. So both the things you remember, both you have to start with MEN only, menarche and menopause. Menarche is the beginning, onset, the time, first time she menstruates, it is the menarche. The time when it stops, it is menopause. Pause is stop, the rest, that's called menopause, right? Now, next is correct sequence of development of human embryo. Means in what way human embryo develops, what are the phases of human embryo development. So if you think about it, although you have four answers over there, I want you to think about them, right? So what happens embryo development? What is embryology? It is the time when fertilization happens, zygote is formed, zygote to the birth, whatever happened, that is the embryology, right? So what all will happen at the beginning? What is the series of actions or series of reactions happening during embryogenesis? So first is the fertilization. See, I am writing here, fertilization is the first step, because then fertilization happens, then only there is embryo form, right? So once fertilization happens, what happens? Male and female gametes which are haploid, they will fertilize or they unite to form something that is zygote, which is a diploid structure. Now zygote is formed. What is next? Next is zygote begins to undergo repeated mitotic divisions. What is that called? That is called cleavage. Cleavage is the division of zygote mitotically, continuously, repeatedly, without enlarging in size. So as the cleavage continues, cells become smaller and smaller, continuously become very smaller. Only when the blastulation happens, there will be a cavity developed. Till that time, it will be forming a solid ball of cells. Therefore, cleavage is the simple mitotic division of the zygote. Right? Now, after this, end of the cleavage, what you get is solid ball of cells. We call that as morula. So, next stage is morula. Morula is solid ball of cells that resemble the fruit of mulberry, I have already told you. Therefore, the name is morula, because mulberry biological name is Morus alba. Morus alba is biological name of the mulberry plant. Therefore, the word taken from that is morus. That is morula, right? Now, once morula happens, there will be development of blastocyst or blastulation happens. So this is the blastula. The end of blastulation is the resultant structure is blastula. So what happens in blastulation? Imagine this is the group of cells formed at the end of morula. This is the morula structure. Now this will start enlarging. The cavity develops at the center. This is called the blastocele. Blastocele is the cavity, and if you think of the frogs, upper cells are smaller ones, they are called micromeres, lower ones are macromeres, and this kind of structure is called blastula. This is a blastula, and the process of formation of blastocele is called blastulation. See, all connected things I am explaining you. Blastulation is the process of conversion of the solid ball of cells, that is morula, into blastula, is called blastulation, in which the cavity is developed at the center called as a blastocele cavity. And one more thing, some of the papers they have asked, means next part, the NEET portions on the APMT examination, if you observe, they are given what is, see in this what all connected things I will give you. What is the fate map of blastula? Very nice word is given here. Fate map of blastula. What is this? Actually, at the stage when it is blastula, at this stage, you can get the future cells, their demarcation. Means you can identify what they are going to become in future by staining this whole structure of blastula. So when you stain this blastula with the differential staining techniques, there is something, different type of stainings are there. There is one technique where you are going to do differential staining. Means different types of stains they are adding, like methylene blue they add, or some other hematoxylin, all they will add. Different stains are added. Different parts will take different types of stains, right? Some part here it will take one blue color, some will take red color, or this will become demarcated like this, like some part is demarcated like this. So this is going to become in future notochord. The first one to identify is the small area where notochord is formed at this area only, right? So this part of the blastula from which notochord originates, there will be a crescent shaped structure. If you observe in front, if there is a blastula, here we will get the small crescent like structure. We call this as the first part which initiates the formation of notochord. So at this stage of blastulation, you can identify what are the fate of these cells. What are they going to form in future? Which form the ectoderm, which form the mesoderm, which form the endoderm, which form the gastral cavity. Like that, everything will be analyzed at the stage of blastula. We call that as the fate map of blastula. Okay, this additional thing you remember. So next stage is blastula. So what happens next to blastula? There will be gastrula. Already I told you, gastrula is the condition in which the same blastocele, whichever it is there, new cavity develops, reducing the blastocele cavity. This is called the gastrocele. This is called gastrulation, right? Gastrulation is the next stage of blastulation, where a new cavity develops. There is a gastral cavity or archenteron or gastrocele is developed, where blastocele becomes smaller and sometimes reduce in size. Therefore, the correct sequence is fertilization, forming a zygote, zygote to cleavage happens, multiple mitotic divisions, then cleavage leads to the formation of solid ball of cells called morula, morula leads to the formation of blastula with the central cavity blastocele, then blastocele will reduce. In the next stage, there is gastrulation, and yesterday I explained in the last class, I explained you, during gastrulation there is there is a morphogenetic movement of cells like invagination, involution, epiboly, right? These three things I already told you, right? Invagination moving the cells tucked inwards, then involution the cells start moving inwards into the new cavity formed. Epiboly is overgrowth of micromeres over macromeres. These are the morphogenetic morphogenetic movements happening at gastrulation. Really, I think students will be wondering what is this, where it is given and all. This is not given in any of these books. It is the extra thing I am explaining you, which is required for your NEET or higher competitive examination. So it is one advantage. You just think that I am getting so much of time to explain all these things in detail. Right? To just get this information, you need to read a lot of books again, or some other books where the higher information is given. I am giving it a slightly higher version of embryology. Right? So gastrulation is the stage. After that, there is one more stage happening. Neurulation happens, where a notochord is developed. Then notochord, then all nervous system will develop. That is why, if at all you continue with this, there will be another stage called neurulation happens. Right? But at the end of gastrulation, you get the three primary germ layers: ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm. Right? So now that is total story of events during embryology. Fertilization, zygote formation, cleavage, blastula, gastrula, neurula. Like 5 to 6 stages are there. Okay? So then you get an idea how to write the answer, this question, or to write this question. It is all there in the regular pattern in your TRANSCEND book only. Okay, let's now continue. Sperm nucleus move towards the egg nucleus. This path is called. Actually, this is also to be understood by you, because the next question what I am giving is third question, whatever I have mentioned there. So let me give you what happens exactly in the entry of sperm nucleus. So imagine there is an egg here. This is the egg. Egg is here. Okay, egg nucleus is here. Sperm is penetrating, right? Sperm penetrates from one end. Imagine this is the end where sperm is entering, right? Once it enters, it will be like there will be a formation of fertilization core. Sperm enters here. It is here. So the way it has come, it will just keep moving. Afterwards, it will take one 180-degree turn like this and start moving towards the egg this way. So one path is this, another path is this. The first path in which it enters is called as the penetration path. How it has penetrated? It is called the penetration path. Okay. Next path is towards the egg. This is the egg nucleus. This is moving towards it by taking 180-degree turn. This is called as copulatory path. And then it will fertilize with the egg. So while doing anti-mixes, sperm takes two paths. One is the path through which it has entered already, that is called as the penetration path. Second is the path which is taken after 180-degree turn of the sperm, that is called as the copulatory path. Then it will reach the egg cell. Okay, that you have to understand. So the answer for the sperm nucleus moving towards the egg nucleus, this path is called as the penetration path. First one is penetration path. Sorry, move towards the egg nucleus, it is a copulatory, because I told you this enters is a penetration. When it moves towards the egg, it is called as a copulatory path or copulation path. Okay, that's the answer. Next, the fourth question. See, one more thing under this only I would like to give you. So once the complete blastula is formed, imagine this is the formation of blastula, there will be a small crescent shaped structure found, I told you. This we call it as the grey crescent. So what is the grey crescent doing? Grey crescent is the area where there will not be any color, it will become colorless. And this is formed because of the movement of all the pigments to the opposite end, because it is formed at the end opposite to the end where the sperm has penetrated. Suppose sperm has penetrated like this, then there will be some kind of engulfment happens here. Therefore, all the pigments will move towards this point. This point, at the opposite end, it becomes totally colorless. It becomes crescent shaped. It is called the grey crescent. Then why I am stressing on grey crescent? The major thing is grey crescent is called as a primary organizer. In future, it forms the notochord. Not only it forms a notochord, it allows nearby cells to become a part of notochord. Therefore, it is called the primary organizer. Therefore, it forms mesodermal area around the grey crescent. That's called a mesoderm. Therefore, this gray crescent is the one part which we call it as the primary organizer. Somewhere you just go through some of the other papers also you solve. Some of the papers you solve where you will get the questions like this. This is the depth of embryology. Okay. Now, let's move on to the next one. Fourth question. Umbilical cord is the connection between. So, what is actually umbilical cord? It is connecting between what all the things, right? So, umbilical cord already have explained you. So, if you understand that this is the uterus, okay, here is the placenta, here is the umbilical cord, and this is attached to the fetal navel. Already we have discussed it. This is the navel of the fetus. This is the forehand. This is the hind limb. This is its eye, right? So what all it is connecting? This is umbilical cord, right? So the umbilical cord, it is connecting the placenta and the fetus or the embryo. So this is the connecting link. What happens in this umbilical cord? Actually this will be surrounded by the membranes I told you. There are chorionic villi and there are the allantoid blood vessels. These allantoid blood vessels take the nutrients that are absorbed by the chorionic villi, then transport it to the fetus through this, right? Through the fetal blood vessels, it will transport all the nutrients. So, umbilical cord transports all the nutrients and also the respiratory gases and the antibodies, everything it is transporting. Umbilical cord is formed by the number of blood vessels. What are these blood vessels are called? This is called allantoids. I hope you know. Allantoids is the extra embryonic membrane or extra fetal membrane. So this is the allantoids which is found in the umbilical cord area. Okay. So that's it then. So once you understand this, then it is simple. Umbilical cord is a connection between what is the placenta and the embryo. So that's the answer, right? You can see all the four answers, but I am giving you right answers directly. Okay? So this you remember all the time. Whenever you start writing or understanding human reproduction, this picture should come to you, right? Why I am drawing everything in pictorial form is because pictures worth 1,000 words. Otherwise, so much I explain also you will not understand unless I draw it and show that okay, this is umbilical cord, this is embryo, this is placenta. So once you see the diagram, it becomes very simple for you. Okay? Now, next let us move on to the next question. That is about the cumulus oophorus. What is cumulus oophorus? This is again a simple question which you have learned. Suppose you think it's a, what is this? This is a Graafian follicle. There is theca externa, there is theca interna, then there is membrana granulosa drawing, or it is drawn inside with the egg here, right? This is called cumulus oophorus. It is formed by the inward projection of membrana granulosa into the antrum, right? That possess the egg. So how they ask, based on that you can answer. Cumulus oophorus is the inward projection of the membrana granulosa possessing the egg in it. Okay? Now, mammalian, this is the inward projection I told you. Mammalian morula has dash size of cells. See, every sentence, every question if they ask you, they will not ask very directly. If that is asked, then it may be very simple for you. Each question carry 4 marks, right? Then you have to analyze why they asked this question. So, mammalian morula has dash size of cells. So, why they are stressed on mammalian morula, right? Because what type of eggs mammals contain? Regular eggs in other organisms are different. Already I told you, describe you types of eggs. Can you remember? One is human egg or mammalian egg do not contain yolk based on the amount of yolk. No yolk, alecythal eggs. Little yolk, what is that called? Microlecythal egg. Moderate quantity of yolk, that is mesolecythal egg. More yolk, that is macrolecythal or megalecythal. 4 types of eggs are there. Alecythal you leave it. Microlecythal, mesolecythal, megalecythal, and in humans it is alecythal. So why I told you that? Because if there is no yolk in the egg, after fertilization, the divisions of cleavage are all equal. It is equal holoblastic cleavage. So that is the reason why all the cells formed in mammalian eggs are of same size. But it is not true with the frog. If you think of frog, what happens in frog? Frog's upper area, that is above the blastocyst or above towards the animal pole, the cells are dividing faster. Towards the lower pole, the cells are dividing slower. Therefore, it is holoblastic unequal cleavage. In humans, it is holoblastic equal cleavage. Whereas in the insects, I told you, insects contain the egg at the some quantity, little quantity, microdiscal, but they are found at the center. Yolk is found at the center of the egg. Therefore, divisions are restricted to the periphery, not to the center. It is called the meroblastic cleavage. So, I hope you got it. Right? So, there are two types of cleavage: meroblastic cleavage, holoblastic cleavage. Holoblastic cleavage involves the complete zygote, and meroblastic cleavage, part of the zygote is involved in division. Okay, done. Now, under holoblastic cleavage, we have equal cleavage and unequal cleavage. Equal cleavage happens in those eggs that contain no yolk, like human mammalian egg. Then, in frogs, it is again involving the complete zygote, but divisions towards the upper side are more than lower side, because lower side is full of yolk. Yolk hinders the divisions. Keep this word in mind all the time. Therefore, this is like an indirect question. Mammalian morula has that size of cells. All are equal sized cells, equal size of cells. That's the answer. Okay. Now, another question is fertilizing. This I have not explained you. Just understand what is fertilizing. It's not fertilization. It is fertilizing. So, what is fertilizing? Just simple explanation here. So, in frogs, attraction of sperm towards the egg is chemically drawn. Okay, it is called chemotactic attraction. Imagine in frogs, a lot of different things are happening. In frogs, what happens during the time of breeding season? You would see at the time of whenever it rains and all, frogs make one kind of croaking sound. This is the sound to attract the females, right, or males, right? They attract each other by that croaking sound. So at the time of breeding season, female organism, female frog will contain all the eggs in its cloacal aperture, and to release the eggs, it will call the males. Male will sit above the female and apply the pressure at its abdomen to release the eggs. This process is called as spawning. Spawning, right? What I am explaining is fertilization in frogs. Okay. First thing is spawning. Spawning is release of around 200 to 300 eggs with jelly coat. In frog, you will have the egg with 1, 2 or 3 layers of jelly coats, right? And there will be yolk in the lower area. Okay. So, like 200 to 300 eggs are released from the female frog with the help of the male frog. Now, this process, like a female frog above that male frog sitting and applying pressure, looks like a copulation, but it is not copulation. There is no actually fertilization copulation happening. There is no copulation, but it looks like they are copulating. Therefore, it is called the false copulation, right? This is called as in frogs there is false copulation. Okay, there is no copulation. It looks like copulation. After the eggs are released, most of these eggs, imagine so many eggs are released with the packet of jelly coats on this. These will go settle down. Imagine this is a water pond. They will settle somewhere in the solid rocks or the plant leaves or something like that. These eggs are settled. This is all full of water. Okay. Now, at the same time, male frog will also release eggs. So, eggs are almost settled here. Now, the male frog will release the sperms. These sperms start moving in water. But they should go in search of the egg. These are the sperms. These are the eggs. Spawning is release of the eggs. Right? Now, sperm should go in search of their own eggs. They will not fertilize any other egg present. Right? Normally, these will, actually the eggs will release a kind of chemical. We call the chemical as this is one, it is releasing one chemical, and with this chemical attraction the sperms also will come towards this. This attraction between sperm and the egg with the help of chemical is called as chemotactic attraction, chemotaxis, right? Chemotaxis is chemical attraction. Here whatever the eggs are releasing, they are called as egg release, something called as gynogamen. Gynogamen. Its name is fertilizing. But once the gynogamen is all the time here releasing in the water, sperms will produce another chemical. The sperm produce a chemical called as androgamen. Androgamen is anti-fertilizing. Anti-fertilizing. Now, the sperm's chemical and the egg's chemical attract each other, and the sperm will move towards the egg and they fertilize the egg. Right? This is how sperms come towards the egg and they fertilize this egg. This is called chemotactic attraction, which happens in those organisms that undergo external fertilization, not in humans. Humans fertilization happens by chance, not with any type of chemicals. Okay, so I hope you understood. This is how it happens. Now, what are these gamets? Gamets in frogs are mainly, gynogamen is a kind of glycoprotein, right? It's a chemically a glycoprotein containing a lot of amino acids. But the sperm producing the anti-fertilizing is a type of acid protein. They attract each other and there will be coagulation, they fertilize the egg. This is a kind of attraction between male and female gametes in frogs. And one more thing, so many times they will be having a doubt this kind of chemicals are released. In humans also there are certain chemicals released by through the body odor of the sweat glands. They are called pheromones. Actually pheromones are the body odor, right? It's a natural body odor released by men and women. Even that is a kind of attraction between men and women. That's with the body odor called pheromones. That is a chemical attraction. Otherwise, this chemical attraction during fertilization will not happen. But here it is the chemotactic attraction happening between the male and the female gametes only. Okay, so I gave you, and this process now false copulation is called as amplexus. See, so many new words I am giving you. Amplexus is nothing but false copulation happening in the frog, where the male frog sits on the female frog. With its nuptial pads, it will press the female abdomen to release the eggs from the female abdomen. That is female cloacal area. That is the first process. We call it the false copulation or amplexus. Right? Next is about the spawning. Once it will release once it pressurizes, the eggs are around 200 to 300 packed in a jelly coat will be released one after the bunch by bunch. And most of the time, why so many number of eggs are produced is mainly because their survival is big problem in water. Because so many organisms or those aquatic animals like fishes and all, they will be having this as their food, right? As soon as eggs are released, most of them will be eaten away by most of the predators. Therefore, survival rate is so low. That's why the frogs will take care in such a way that they will produce a large number of eggs, so that there will not be any issue later. Because one at least get fertilized, two at least get fertilized. If all it is released only one or two, then if all of them they are wasted, then the frog will not continue its generation. Already frogs are reducing in number. They are extinct almost in most of the area in Bangalore and all. I am not able to observe any frog here and there. Earlier when we were students and all, we used to get frogs for our dissection very easily. Nowadays it's banned actually. Any animal dissection is banned in the labs nowadays. But anyway, frogs are not available because of the lack of water bodies. Okay, students, we are continuing with the next part. That's about the reproductive health. That is almost I have finished all the questions from the human reproductive system. Now we will talk about the reproductive health. And you have the book with you, TRANSCEND. Let's go through all the questions. and most of the questions, because reproductive health is slightly requires some more knowledge for you. Therefore, I will give you some more extra things in this chapter. Okay. First question says in guidance corner, which of the following statements is correct with reference to a test tube baby? Means what is true with respect to test tube baby. First one, so the question is on test tube baby, right? I'll keep writing the question. What is it on? It is on test tube baby. Okay. So it says that first option, fertilization of the egg is completed outside the body and the fertilized egg is then placed in the womb of the mother where the gestation is completed. Okay, this I will give you little bit in detail. What they do is, whenever test tube baby, we call it as in detail, I will explain you. This is done through in vitro fertilization and embryo transfer. This is a long form of test tube baby. Remember this. So what they will do is, in vitro fertilization happens outside the body. So what happens is, suppose a couple don't have children, then for them the female will be allowed to produce more eggs, right? The woman or the female is allowed to produce more eggs by adding or giving her injections of FSH hormone. So she will produce more ovules, okay, more eggs, okay. The poly-ovarian character, or we call it the multiple ovulation is induced. Multiple ovulation is induced by giving her the hormones. Then first step is this. Second step is they suck those eggs from the fallopian tube and they transfer it to a petri dish. So the eggs are transferred. Not one egg, many eggs will be formed because they will be given introduction of the injected FSH hormone. So all the eggs which are all haploid, they are transferred to either the test tube or to the petri dish. So it is called test tube because earlier it started with transferring them to the petri dish, so the test tube only. Here the culture media is taken, on that eggs are taken, right? But nowadays they do it in the petri dish. This is a petri dish where they put the culture media, on that eggs are transferred, right? The culture media contain all the nutrients required for the egg. Then afterwards, once the egg growth completes, then the third thing is they extract the sperms from the husband or the donor, because it depends upon whether the husband has the viable sperms or not. So once the sperms are collected, they are transferred to the eggs present in the petri dish. So they are transferred, the healthy sperms are transferred to the petri dish. So this is all happening in the controlled environment. Means the temperature, pH, everything is controlled because it is outside, it is in the lab condition. So now fertilization allowed to happen naturally. So once the fertilization happens, so the process of fertilization is allowed to happen natural or within the lab conditions, in the lab, right? They are not forcing the sperm to enter the egg, but fertilization happens. Once the zygote is formed, this zygote which is diploid, they will transfer this into the another culture media or another petri dish containing another type of, because their nutrients are different now. The requirements of zygote are different from the eggs. Now they transfer to the another culture media. This is the fertilizer zygote. Now zygote is allowed to undergo the divisions up to 32 cell stage, 8 to 32 cell stage, that is the condition during cleavage. Now once it attains 8 to 32 cell stage, the cleavage happens. Now this is the almost like a morula. It is transferred to the uterus or the womb. And in the womb of the mother, if mother's uterus is normal, or else surrogate mothers are those mothers which can provide the uterus up to the childbirth, and if the child up to the time where the child become independent. So surrogation is like accepted now. Many people are surrogating or providing their womb for the childless couple. So the completely 8 to 32 cell stage cleavage or the blastocyst, you can take it. It is allowed to transfer. It is transferred to the uterus. That is called embryo transfer. This is already embryo. Embryo is transferred to the womb so that the surrogate mother or the regular mother, she get pregnant and baby further will grow in the mother's womb only, right? But the issue is with the test tube baby, there is an issue that is up to certain time it is outside, the egg is outside, sperms are taken outside, fertilization happens up to 32 cell stage, it's outside only. Therefore there are chances that there may be some kind of infections which may be happening. Therefore test tube baby is a 100% guarantee to have a baby with the required parents, whichever parents they want, they take the gametes from them. But the thing is, sometimes this may not be 100% completely healthy. But nowadays all the care is taken, but still some chances are there as the baby or the embryo is outside the mother's womb. Normally during test tube baby around 2 to 3 such embryos they place it in the mother's uterus to implant. Mostly one will implant, but sometimes there will be more than one getting implanted. Therefore you may result in the twins or triplets or quadruplets. That's a test tube baby overall procedure. So I want you to just write down these procedures so that this will you will understand this is the embryo transfer. Embryo transfer. This is the second thing. Then IVF is in vitro fertilization. IVF is in vitro fertilization and embryo transfer. That's a long form of this. Embryo transfer. So here you can see fertilization has happened. This is IVF. In vitro fertilization has happened to form zygote. Next is embryo transfer has happened here. That's the total story of test tube baby. Baby will not be growing in the test tube. Baby is produced or it is grown in the mother's womb only. But only the fertilization happens either in the test tube or in the petri dish. Nowadays they are not doing it in the test tube. They do it in the petri dish. Okay. But anyway, from the beginning, test tube baby word is taken, and first baby was born in England by Robert. His name is Robert Brown, right? Louis Brown. That's the Louis Brown, the baby's name, first test tube baby, right? Take it. Okay. After we have finished this is the simple procedure. You just write it down because such details hardly you will get it in the books. But anyway, this detail you require for NEET only, right? Now we will move on to the next question in your transcend. Second question. The second question says that which of one of the following represent the correct match of a sexually transmitting diseases? So the question number 2 is on STDs, right? What are the STDs? What they are given as? First one they are given is syphilis. So let us first list them all. Second one is gonorrhea, which already you have studied. So what are the other things? You have got other 3 also. Other 2, urethritis and soft sores they are given. But in your syllabus we have these 2. You can immediately identify. Syphilis you already know its name is, the causal organism is bacteria Treponema pallidum. Right? Then the gonorrhea is Neisseria gonorrhoeae. Okay, these are the 2 bacteria, and you will come to know that these are the right things to write. You by heart the names of the 2 diseases. At least when they ask about the sexually transmitting disease, at least 2 you should know. Right? Already I explained you the details of the syphilis and gonorrhea. Syphilis is like an episodic disease. It is happening in primary, secondary, tertiary infections, and it causes so many times at the end nerve damage and the liver damage and the heart membranes are damaged. But gonorrhea is initially there is a formation of gleat, a sticky fluid which is exuded from the penis and vagina. It's almost like bleeding. It will be highly infectious and there will be highly itching sensation and there is a fever. In both of them, initial stage, it can be cured by using benzene penicillin or just penicillin, strong penicillin. Right? That is the initial stage, not in the later stage. Okay, let me give you the third question. They are given the third question as they are given 2 columns. Column A and column B, right? First column A, what they are given is column A, they are given the pill. These are all contraceptive methods. The pill. Next is given as this is the A. B is there is condom. Even this is a condom. C given is vasectomy. D is copper T. Copper T. Okay. Now in column 2 you have to fill this. Column 2 I will not write the wrong ones, or column B I will not write whatever is given in a wrong way. Let me read out right ones. Right. So in this, the first one, pill, what will this do? It will help in avoiding ovulation. Right. So therefore it should be, it will prevent ovulation. Ovulation, because they contain hormones. Right. We have already discussed about the pills. Right. The common pill, a little explanation we do. The daily pill is Mala D, and the weekly, this is the daily pill. Female has to take this pill from day 1 to up to 28 days, next initiation of menstrual cycle. Then weekly pill, for the week you have to take, that is about the Saheli. It is the weekly pill, right? It has more concentration of these hormones, right? Second is condom. So condom will do, what it will do, it will, I already discussed with you this thing. Condom is a thin rubbery elastic sac-like structure. It has to be rolled over the penis to before the intercourse, so that the sperms which are released on ejaculation will be trapped in the condom and they are to be thrown, so that this will prevent the sperms entering into the vagina. So this will prevent, what it will prevent? Sperms reaching cervix. Okay, therefore it is right one, cervix. Okay, condoms, and we have the condom, that is Nirod, which is provided free of cost by Government of India. Right. Next is vasectomy. You know already, vasectomy is a surgical treatment to permanently avoid any type of fertility, or permanently to avoid conception. Vasectomy is done in when I told you vas deferens is cut and it is tied back. Right? They given here the kind of 7, that is the vasectomy. C, the fourth given is, it contains no sperms even, but vasectomy is a surgical treatment where vas deferens is cut and tied back, so that sperms will not move through the semen. So there are no sperms in the semen. So that is, it means semen contain no sperms in those who are undergone vasectomy. Next is copper T. Copper T, it is the one T-like structure which is transferred or surgically it is inserted into the female's womb. This will be T-like structure like this, and it is made up of copper. There are 2 thread-like things hanging here. Right? This is copper T. What will it do? It will avoid implantation. It prevents implantation. So therefore the answer should be C, this, because it shows this is preventing implantation. Right? So all the 4 you should know, each one I explained you. Right? Now apart from copper T, there is one more thing available. It is called lipase loop. Right? Lipase loop is non-scientific or non-medicated. Lipase loop is there. This is non-medicated loop which was produced by Lipase. The name of scientist is Lipase. It is a kind of S-shaped loop, somewhat like this it will be, and this can easily transfer to the cervical area, but this doesn't contain any hormones or any chemicals. Whereas copper T produce copper, when it is released, it is spermicidal in nature. As the copper is released continuously, entering sperms will get killed by the copper. Therefore, this is the copper T is more useful and it is less cost. Whereas lipase loop is non-medicated loop, just some foreign body if it is there in the completely in the uterine area, that will not allow implantation. Therefore, lipase loop is done, but it is a non-medicated loop. This is the medicated loop. Okay, right? This you just understand. Then we'll move to the next question. So next is, which of the following two statements are correct regarding contraception? Right? What is the statements? First one says, medical termination of pregnancy, MTP, during first trimester is generally safe. What is medical MTP? Medical termination of pregnancy is nothing but abortion. Right? So abortion in general terms they say. So but biologically we call the MTP or medical termination of pregnancy. Already you must be knowing that if at all female is pregnant, in up to first 3 months, the baby can be aborted or medically it can be terminated. That is safe. Afterwards, baby would have grown more and MTP is not advised. So MTP has to be done earlier stages only. After that, doctors also will not take up such cases. Therefore, any kind of abortions must be happening before the third month, right? That's for the first trimester. Second trimester, that cannot be done, right? So that's a true statement. Second statement says, generally chances of conception are nil until mother breastfeeds the infant up to 2 years. See the words, every word you concentrate. They say that mother if is breastfeeding, we already discussed up to 1 year if she breastfeeds, it acts like a natural contraception. But most of the natural contraceptive methods are not 100% foolproof. But they are saying 2 years she is breastfeeding. 2 years if the mother will not breastfeed, she should not breastfeed. But up to 2 years it will not act as the contraceptive method. That is called lactational amenorrhea will not work up to 2 years. It happens up to 1 year only. Therefore, it is a wrong statement. Mother will feed up to 1 year, then it is acting like a natural contraceptive method. It is called the lactational amenorrhea. But not 100%. They are saying nil, not nil. There are some possibilities. Sometimes she may ovulate and there may be fertilization, there may be pregnancy also. But around 80 to 85% chances are not there up to 1 year. But 2 years, not possible. 2 years, there will not be any lactational amenorrhea. Therefore, second statement is wrong. Let me go to the third statement, which says that intrauterine devices like copper T are effective contraceptives. Just now I told you, if copper T is inserted or any such loops are inserted, important thing is implantation is prohibited. It prevents implantation. Already I have written, prevents implantation. If there is no implantation, pregnancy is not happening. Therefore, it is very good type of contraceptive method is to introduce copper T or introduce certain intrauterine devices. But only problem is females will get some kind of pain also during transfer or after the transfer of this. They will get some continuous abdominal pain or they may get continuous bleeding also. But anyway, they say that sometimes bleeding will reduce. If they have painful menstruation, it will reduce if there is a loop in their womb. But still, there is some kind of side effect of copper T. Sometimes it will be just having a jerk. It may move to some other area. It may affect and continuously there may be pain. It may inject or it may have insertion in some other areas also. Therefore, this is the side effect. But otherwise, copper T is 100% foolproof as a family planning method. Okay? So that is the right statement. Third is the right statement. Fourth statement says that contraception pills may be taken up to 1 week after coitus to prevent conception. See, so many wrong things are there. This is a wrong statement because after coitus, this cannot be taken. After coitus, it is already, she might have got fertilized. Then whatever she takes, any type of pill will not work once the fertilization happens. Before the intercourse, she should take for 28 days. I told you the pills have to be taken almost before the intercourse or coitus, so that there will not be any fertilization happening. Therefore, pills are not advised after the intercourse. after the transfer of the sperms into the female genital tract. Therefore, it is wrong, right? So therefore, among all the 4 statements given in the 4th question, the right statements are first and the third. Therefore, A option is correct. So mark it as A, right? You must be knowing, but you should justify this, right? Let's now move on to the next one. That's the 5th question. Which of the following statements are right and the right options? Find the right option. First statement says that hepatitis B virus HBV can be transmitted through blood transfusion, sexual contact, saliva, tears, intravenous drug abuse, then tattooing, ear and nose piercing, sharing the razors, etc. See, it is, you have to all take care about this. That is because hepatitis B virus transmits in all these ways. In most of the virus, if they are transmitted through blood and the mucus, blood and the blood fluids like a lacteal fluid and all, they will transfer in all these methods. Ear piercing, tattooing, they will pierce with the pins, right? Something sharp needles they will pierce. Then along with that, sexual intercourse also they transfer, and blood transfusion also they transfer, and sharing the razors and the blades, shaving blades, it will transfer. So it is 100% true that hepatitis B virus, not only that, including HIV also transmits like this only. Hepatitis B they are given, but even our AIDS virus, HIV, will transfer through these kind of ways. Tattooing, sharing the razors and blades, and intravenous drug injections, means mostly drug addiction, they do injections of the drugs through using the same needle again and again, that will also transfer hepatitis B virus. So all these are right because the hepatitis B virus transfer like this. Next, B option. Hepatitis B virus vaccine is the second generation vaccine produced from transgenic yeast by genetic recombinant DNA technology. This is a nice explanation given. Remember, nowadays, why any vaccines you think, nowadays, why vaccines are not available? You will be wondering why vaccines they are not producing in the corona, right? Because vaccines are produced for bacteria very easily. What are vaccines then? Vaccines are those attenuated microorganisms or the pathogens that are injected into the healthy person to provoke their production of antibodies. Understand this. So vaccines are given to healthy people to provoke their immune system against that particular pathogen, because our immune system works only when the pathogen enters, right? So once the injection of certain vaccines are given to you, your WBC cell, mainly the lymphocyte, B and T lymphocyte, they recognize this antigen and they start producing antibodies. Then they will try to grab it, but if the infectious organism is very strong, then you will suffer from the disease. But in vaccination, they will give the weakened pathogens, either heat-killed or dead pathogens they will inject, so that our body will recognize what kind of protein is there on the surface of this bacteria or any other virus. Then they will produce antibodies easily. When the real pathogen enters, our body has immunity against this particular pathogen. But now what is problematic with the virus? Virus you cannot attenuate or heat kill, because once it's outside the host, it is already dead form. It is not showing any living activities. So for viral vaccines, you cannot prepare by heat killing the pathogens. What you have to do is, the viral genome that is infectious has to be analyzed and isolated, and it has to be transferred to the yeast or other microorganism, right? Yeast is the fungi, right? One cell fungi. You have to transfer this genome into the yeast genome and then multiply yeast and heat kill the yeast and inject. That is a viral vaccine, which is a secondary vaccine. Secondary vaccines are developed from some other organisms, like viral vaccines have to be prepared like this. So those who are really worried about research and other things, this is the basic knowledge you should have. So everybody is already thinking why viral vaccines for against corona has not come, no medicine. So virus has no medicines. First thing you can take it from anybody, because virus will enter into your genome. Its genome enters into your cell's genome. So what happens? Viral body is not there. That genes of the virus are mixing with your genome, and your whole cell is containing viral gene in it. Then our cell has to get killed if you want to kill the virus. Virus only can be treated by killing our own cells. That will not happen. Therefore, vaccines are preferred. How to prepare vaccines? I told you, therefore, second line vaccines. That taking the genome from the virus, inserting it into the yeast genome and multiplying the yeast and heat killing or killing the complete yeast and injecting in the body. That's a simple type of vaccines. So that is actually done with respect to HPV, hepatitis B virus. They have done this kind of secondary vaccines have been prepared, right? So the second option given is hepatitis B virus vaccine is a second generation vaccine. I told you, first generation vaccines are directly pathogens are taken. Second generation vaccines, they have to insert into the other like yeast and other organisms and produce it. That produced from the transgenic yeast. It's called the yeast is producing. Yeast is not natural yeast now. It contains viral gene in it. It is called the transgenic yeast or genetic recombined yeast through recombinant DNA technology. When we talk about biotechnology or recombinant DNA technology, I will explain you the whole procedure. You may get a lot of doubts now. You should get doubts actually. What is recombinant DNA technology? How it happens and all? You must get doubts. But all that answers you will get it in biotechnology procedures. But right now I told you in short how they are doing this. Right? It is the right option. Next C option says hepatitis virus vaccine is the first commercially available human vaccine produced by genetic engineering. So till now, till hepatitis B virus was produced, viral vaccine was produced, no other viral vaccination was identified. This was the first virus vaccine through genetic recombination, genetic or recombinant DNA technology or genetic engineering. This earlier they were producing, but is not in this way, not through the recombinant DNA technology. Therefore, hepatitis B viral vaccines were the first genetically modified second generation vaccines produced by recombinant DNA technology. Therefore, all the three statements are right. You people read this question, fifth question, which is having a lot of other subject knowledge in this. Not see, reading and answering marking is not everything. Right? Answer marking everyone will do if the answer keys are available. What is required is why that answer is right and what is that right in that. Right? Therefore, you go through the whole thing. That's a fifth question. Right? Now, we will go to the next question. Okay students, let's now move on to the other questions. The question is about the sixth question I am giving you. Read the following statements and select the correct option. The following statements are given, you have to read them and find out what is the right option. Statement 1 says, physiological capacity of organism to produce the offspring under natural condition is called reproductive potential. It's a right option. Then minimum number of individuals which an environment can sustain is referred to as its carrying capacity is not correct. Therefore, option should be C. Right? Next is seventh question. Which of the following is correct regarding HIV, hepatitis B, gonorrhea, trichomoniasis? So these four options, the different diseases they are given. So let me give you the answer, why and what is the right answer and why that is the right answer. Because mostly what happens is, you may have the answer keys, you don't know why it is right. So therefore let me give you why that one answer what I am giving is right. So they said, what is correct regarding, what is this? HIV they have given. So the question number I am dealing with seventh question. HIV hepatitis B, then gonorrhea, right? Trichomoniasis. So, among these 1, 2, 3, 4 questions, which is the right answer, right? Which is correct regarding these 4 of them? So, first option given is trichomoniasis is a STD where others are not. But it is, you already know, trichomoniasis is also, along with that, all 3 are the sexually transmitted diseases. So, first option is wrong because HIV is STD, hepatitis B is a STD, gonorrhea is also sexually transmitted disease. So, first option is ruled out. Second option says gonorrhea is a viral disease whereas others are bacterial. So, it is 100% wrong because gonorrhea is a bacterial disease caused by Neisseria gonorrhoeae. Hepatitis B is a viral disease. This is also viral disease. Trichomoniasis is another bacterial disease. So, these all are, 2 are bacterial, 2 are viral diseases. So, it's a wrong one. Then HIV is a pathogen whereas others are diseases. You can see here, HIV means human immunodeficiency virus, right? That is the name of the virus. But what about hepatitis B? It is the name of the disease. Its virus is HBV. It's the name of the virus. Not HIV. HIV is the name of the virus. That is human immunodeficiency virus. This is human hepatitis B virus. But they are given hepatitis B is a disease name. Right? Next is gonorrhea is the name of the disease again. Trichomoniasis also is the name of the disease. Therefore, only in this HIV is the name of the virus given. Others all are diseases. So, this is a right option. That is the C option is right. But what is the D? Let me see. Hepatitis B is eradicated completely whereas others are not. Actually, nothing is eradicated among this. All are the prevailing diseases. Therefore, D option is wrong. Next, it is the D option, the 8th question. The 8th question says, there is a diagram given where the 2 fallopian tubes are cut and tied back. What is this figure which is given below is showing, right? Or showing in particular. So it means if the 2 fallopian tubes are cut and tied back, it must be the surgical contraceptive method called tubectomy. That is why it is, the answer should be tubectomy. Okay? Next, 9th question given is, read the statements and select the correct option. Statement 1 says, diaphragm, cervical caps, walls are made up of rubber and are inserted into the female reproductive tract to cover the cervix before coitus. Right? Means all the upper ones what I read, they are all the female reproductive tract, they are inserted, they are made up of the rubber thing. That is diaphragm, cervical cap, walls. Actually, this is the right statement because if they ask you to write a note on female reproductive system or female reproductive tract coverings or the type of mechanical barriers in females, then you can say they are diaphragm, cervical caps and walls. All the 3 are to be injected into the vagina. They cover up the vagina so that cervix, the sperms will not enter. That's the right statement. Second statement says, these are chemical barriers of contraception which are reusable. This is wrong. They are not chemical. I told you they are rubbery things. They are like a small flat rubbery things with one rim on that. It should be inserted in the vagina, onto the vagina, so that the inner sac-like structure enters into the cervical canal, cervix internal part of the vagina, so that sperms will be transferred to that. They will not pass into the female reproductive tract immediately, so that once they are removed, the females are safe. Therefore, option 1, statement 1 is right, statement 2 is wrong. Next they are given, again the same thing, the various barriers and all they given. I am going to the 11th question. Which of the following is wrongly matched? The 11th question I am giving you. What is wrong in this? First one is IUI, right? So in 11th question they are given IUI, that is intrauterine insemination. It is almost like a artificial insemination. In IUI, semen is collected from the husband or the donor and is artificially introduced either to the vagina or into the uterus. Is this right or wrong? Right? It is 100% right, because in this it is intrauterine insemination, that is semen is taken from the husband or the donor and will be transferred to the female genital tract, means into the uterus or into the fallopian tube, wherever they will just push it. Right? This is intrauterine insemination. Right? Therefore it is right option. Next, second option says gift. About the gift. So what is long form of gift? Just think about it first, then only you will understand. It is actually called gamete intra-fallopian transfer. Okay, gamete intra-fallopian transfer. What it is? They given its answer as transfer of embryos with more than 8 blastomeres into the fallopian tube. See, it is 100% wrong, because the word itself is gamete intra-fallopian transfer, means both male and female gametes are taken, transferred to the fallopian tube, not the complete embryo. They said embryo with more than 8 blastomeres is transferred to the fallopian tube. Is a wrong answer. So in this gift given answer is wrong. Right? Next is third one given. This is the A, this is B. C given as ICSI. See, in this you get knowledge also. ICSI is nothing but intracytoplasmic sperm injection. That's the total meaning of ICSI. That is, if they take, this is the egg will have the zona pellucida and this membrane. They take the sperm in a syringe and they transfer it into the cytoplasmic area. Here they will transfer the sperm directly. This is the egg, and this is the sperm. This is called as the intracytoplasmic sperm injection. Right? This is correct. They said that sperm directly injected into the ovum is the right option. Only what they are given in gift is wrong. Then what they are given in ZIFT, the D option, D is given as ZIFT. ZIFT you know already, it is zygote intrafallopian transfer. Means after fertilization, whatever zygote is formed directly is transferred to the fallopian tubes. That is ZIFT, zygote intrafallopian transfer. Therefore, zygote ZIFT is the transfer of the embryo up to 8 blastomeres into the fallopian tube. That's the right option. So among all this 4, they are given only gift as a wrong answer. So your answer should be B, because it's wrongly given. Okay. Next. I hope you understood this. Next is about which of the following contraceptive method correctly matches with its mode of action, whether they are matching or not. First option says tubectomy. Contraceptive method is tubectomy. Mode of action is make the uterus unsuitable for implantation. Is it right? They are saying which is correct. This is wrong, right? Because it is wrongly given. Tubectomy is making the egg not to pass through the fallopian tube, because fallopian tube is cut already. Therefore, tubectomy is not making the uterus unsuitable for implantation. If you say that mode of action is making the uterus unsuitable for implantation, then it should be IUD. But they given it as tubectomy. Tubectomy is not the answer for this. So first option is wrong. Second option says oral pills. They inhibit the ovulation and implantation. 100% right, because they produce oral pills. They produce something called as the progestin, the hormone that will suppress the FSH and LH hormone. Therefore, ovulation will not take place. Remember always this one, right? So, what is that oral pill doing here? Oral pills contain certain hormones in them. These hormones will stop the ovulation or the development of the fallopian tube. So, oral pills, when I talk about, they contain something called as progestin. Progestin, they inhibit. What they inhibit? They inhibit the FSH and LH production. Therefore, there will not be any ovulation happening. Therefore, oral pills were chemically, right? They said oral pills inhibit the ovulation and implantation. Is right. Diaphragm, they are saying answer as mode of action of diaphragm as spermicidal and increases the phagocytosis of the sperm within the uterus. So diaphragm is spermicidal and increase the phagocytosis. So diaphragm is attached as a mechanical barrier, right? It will not help in phagocytosis. Phagocytosis, it has to attack the sperms and kill it. It will not work for that. Next is Iuds. They block the gamete transportation. Is wrong because Iuds avoid implantation. They will allow the gamete sperm to move, egg to move, everything will happen, only implantation is stopped. Therefore, 12th question answer should be oral pills that inhibit ovulation and implantation. Next, which of the following is a non-medicated intrauterine device? That's the 13th question. This is the 12th question. 13th question says, which is a non-medicated intrauterine device? IUD. About the IUD they asked, which is non-medicated. What they are given is, A option they are given as copper T. CUT is copper T. B option they are given as lipase loop. Lipase loop. C they are given as copper 7. D they are given as LNG20. See, you got so many ideas now. What are the various types of IUDs? They are in right now. They are in trend. They call trendy type of things. Copper T is a medicated one. I told you it produces copper so that it will avoid the sperm by transferring because it kills the sperms. It is medicated. But lipase loop, I told you, it's a plastic S-shaped structure. It will be like this. Somewhat like this it will be, and this is a plastic one, and it will be transferred, attached to the uterus. Once such things are there in the uterus, they are directly attached to the endometrial wall, so that implantation is avoided. This do not produce any chemicals or anything like that. It will only avoid implantation. So this is the non-medicated loop or IUD. Therefore, this is the right option for that question. But let us learn others also. Copper 7 also is one of the IUD producing copper ions. Then LNG20 also is a medicated loop. Therefore, among all the four, only lipase loop is a non-medicated loop. I told you it was produced by lipase. Right? Name of the scientist is lipase. So the name is lipase loop. Right? Then we will go to the 15th question. Progestin and estradiol combined contraceptive pills inhibit the ovulation. See, this is what I said. Right now, progestin already I told you here. But another one is estradiol. Sometimes they give combined type of hormones in the pills. Right? Some of them, like Maladi, will have only one type of hormone, that is progestin. But they are given the 14th question, progestin and estradiol. Spelling can be like this also given. Estradiol. Right? Progestin, estradiol, combined contraceptive pills inhibit ovulation. Right? These are the combined ones. They both the hormones are there in the contraceptive pills. How they inhibit ovulation? First they said that negative feedback on the release of estrogen from required for follicular development during the infollicular phase, right? But anyway, it is not going to give any negative feedback in the follicular phase. So that's a wrong answer. preventing the uterine physiological and morphological changes required for implantation. No way it is connected with implantation. It will not prevent the implantation by changing the uterine wall physiological way or morphological way. So it's a wrong answer. Then inhibit the secretion of follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone that are necessary for ovulation is the right option, because these two hormones, they inhibit, already I told you, they inhibit the production of FSH required for the maturation of ovarian follicle into Graafian follicle, and LH required for ovulation. Both of them, they are stopped. Because of this, in the pills they will give this. Like Maladi, actually Saheli. Saheli is another pill. I told you already, Saheli is the weekly pill for contraception, and it is developed from our own Indian pharmaceutical company, that is CDRI from Lucknow, right? CDRI is Central Center for Drug Research, Central Drug Research Institute, Lucknow, right? So this was developed, Saheli was developed by CDRI, Lucknow, and it is a weekly pill. But this contains both the hormones, progesterone and estradiol. One is Maladi containing single hormone, this is a combined hormones, that is estradiol and progesterone. So therefore in that only I gave you all the answers. Okay. Next is our 16th question, assisted reproductive technologies, that is ART, that is medical assisted reproductive technology also we call it, or ART also we call it, that is assisted, ART refers to assisted or medically assisted reproductive technologies, right? That's a So this question, that 16th number, what I am talking is about ART, that is assisted reproductive technologies, right? So it is also called as medically assisted reproductive technologies. So what they are saying is, that is the 16th question I am dealing with. Assisted reproductive technologies, first option given is includes social awareness programs to educate people about reproductive health and diseases. So I really don't understand how it is this can be answered, because this is not their work. Assisted reproductive technology, they include only to help the childless couple to produce children. So they are not doing social awareness programs to educate people about the reproductive health. Wrong it is. Next option given is include research organization working on to produce new and more effective contraceptives for the birth control. So they are saying it includes the research organization to work on the more effective contraceptive controls, right? Next is it includes a number of special techniques which assist infertile couples to have children. That must be the right answer. Therefore, among all the three, the third one is only right. That is, assisted reproductive technology helps what for? To have the child for the infertile couples. That's the right answer. Okay. Now we'll move on to the question number 18th. That is the 18th question. What is it giving? It's a very simple thing. You have to just by heart it and know it. World AIDS Day is when it is. Which day is World AIDS Day? December 21st, December 1st, November 1st, June 11th. But you just should know, understand it is on December 1st. That is World AIDS Day is on December 1st. Okay. Next, 19th question. Which of the following statements are correct? Okay. That is the 19th question. We are learning what is right in the following thing. Family planning programs were initiated in 1951. right? When exactly family planning program started was in 1951. It is right thing. During 1951 only it started. Next, according to WHO, that is World Health Organization, reproductive health means total well-being in physical, social, behavioral and emotional aspects of reproduction. That is right definition for reproductive health. So this can be 1 mark question for you in main examination also. Board examination you can write. How do you define reproductive health? What you will write? You should write that it is total well-being in physical, social, behavioral and emotional aspects of reproduction. You by heart this and write the same thing. Right? Most of the time you start writing somewhat general meanings. Don't write exactly what is given here. You should write it. Next is Saheli was developed by CDRI in Lucknow, Center for Drug Research Institute, that is in Lucknow. It is true because already I described about this. Saheli was developed in CDRI Lucknow. All the 3 statements are right. Okay. Next, say 4th option is amniocentesis should not be banned as it is a fetal sex determination test. So this actually is a misunderstanding, misconception in our people's mind is amniocentesis is developed for identifying the sex of the fetus. No. Amniocentesis is a technique in which amniotic fluid is drawn from the mother's when she is pregnant. From the amnion it is taken out and to check the chromosome numbers whether all the chromosome numbers are normal. Is it 2n is equal to 46 with 44 autosomes and 2 allosomes, and then whether all the chromosomes are normal, any problem is there, any extra chromosome, any chromosomal abnormality is there or not, whether it is a healthy baby. To test that they do amniocentesis, not for determination of sex, but it also can be done by that method. But nowadays the whole technology which was developed for identifying the health of the baby is totally spoiled. People are misusing for identification of sex. That's why this 4th option is wrong. First 3 sentences are right. Therefore, your right option answer is the C answer, which says that first, second and third options are correct. Those are the right statements. Okay. So that's the question number 19th. Next, about the question number 20th. Right. What is the question saying? Which of the following are the reasons for population explosion? Means, what is the reason for explosion of population? First one says increased health facilities. Means, there is increase in facility of health. Naturally, there will be increase in population because all the people who are about to have any dreadful diseases and problematic diseases also will survive because our medical facilities are improving like anything. Then that is one of the reasons. Then they are saying rapid increase in MMR. What is MMR? It is maternal mortality rate. Right? So remember, this word will be asked. MMR. What is it? It is nothing but maternal mortality rate. What is the meaning of this? Normally, the females will die with so many reasons. Females will be either dead during the pregnancy or when they are giving birth to children. Normally, there was earlier time, there was a rapid increase in maternal mortality rate was there. But that is not the reason, because if the maternal mortality rate is there, then population explosion will not take place. So that is a common sense. That is a wrong answer. Rapid increase in IMR, right? Then rapid decrease in MMR. So among all these, there is a decrease in MMR is right. There is a rapid decrease in maternal mortality rate is right. Then increase in health facilities. Therefore, first and fourth option are right. The A option is the correct answer for 20th question. Okay. Now, again these barriers and all are there. We will not talk about them. Let's go to the next one. Okay. Consider 23rd question. That's the 23rd question I am talking about. Consider the following statements and select the option stating which one are true and which one are false. Among the statements you should see and find out what is true, what is false. That is true, false statements. First one given is abortions. Abortions could happen spontaneously also, or spontaneously too, means abortion always is not MTP, that is not given by medical way, that is medical termination of pregnancy is not equal to abortion. Abortion can happen on its own, without medical assistance also. Sometimes if the mother, when she is pregnant, if she has a fall or if she gets a kind of hit on her abdomen or the stomach or near the area where the baby is there, that time also abortions can happen spontaneously. Therefore, it is not always MTP. Therefore, first statement is true. That is, first statement, whatever given, abortions could happen spontaneously too, is the right option. Next one says, infertility is inability to produce viable offsprings due to the defect in female partner only. So think about this. This is what earlier people used to think. Infertility means if the husband and wife are unable to produce children, it is mainly because of the female problem. Everybody used to blame females for this, right? Infertility is maybe the woman is having some problem, so she is not giving birth to the children. She is not producing child. Most of the time earlier they used to do what they used to do. They used to say that okay, this girl is not proper. Okay, let him get married to another lady. This was happening earlier when they were not having idea that men also will have some infertility problems. That's the reason this you will have to being educated is being understanding all this. This is what is called social well-being. This is the social well-being. If at all somebody, some couple is having problem and such things are happening in their family, by biology, being a biology student, you should explain them that this is not only concerned with the female problem, it may be concerned with the males also. Males also, already I told you, so many ways they may become infertile. This is also one of the reasons where females only are not responsible, males are also responsible for infertility. Therefore, the second option what given is the false option. Second is false option. Third option says complete lactation could help in contraception. Complete lactation means if the mother is continuously feeding the baby or she is having full milk production and she is feeding the baby continuously, it could help for contraception. Not 100%, it could help. It is what we call it as lactational amenorrhea. Third one, whatever they given is right. It is true. That is, when she is lactating, when she is feeding the baby, she will not have to use any other contraceptive methods because she is having natural contraception. That is called as lactational amenorrhea. This already we discussed. Lactational amenorrhea. Okay, that's true. Then creating awareness can help to create a reproductively healthy society. Means this is what I was talking about. Being a biology student, once you learn about the reproductive health, reproductive biology, complete human reproduction, then you can create one healthy, reproductively healthy environment anywhere. It's not only about your own family or your own life, it is about everybody's life. Those who don't have any idea, they don't have knowledge about this, also you can help them. You can create in the house the healthy environment. Just I told you, most of the time the couples who are having no children, always the people who are uneducated now, they feel that the female is only responsible for this. She is only infertile. That time you can educate them, right? That is the way you people can create one healthy environment in the area by creating the awareness in people, right? Therefore, learning this chapter is not just learning and forgetting. Instead, it will come throughout your life. That's why it is a part of life. Life science it is. We are learning life science. Okay. Next, we will talk about other questions. Okay. Let's talk about the question number 33. Imagine the next question we'll talk about is the 34th question I'm reading. 34th question. What is it saying? How do the pills work? Pills, again and again I need not to tell you, pills are nothing but those chemicals they contain, drugs they contain, like certain hormones like estradiol and progesterone. These pills, how do they work? Right? Already you should have in your mind. How do they work is they suppress the other hormones like FSH and LH, so that there is no ovulation or maturation of Graafian follicle happening. Therefore, how do they work? Means you will get if you have the idea, then you will get your answer there. First option says inhibit ovulation and implantation. Is it right or wrong? It is right. Right? That's right. Second option says alter the quality of cervical mucus to prevent or retard the entry of sperms. They will not do that. Right? They will not retard the entry of sperms, because that's only by creams and gels and all. Then prevent the ejaculated semen from entering into the female vagina. Second one is right. Alter the quality of cervical mucus to prevent. Alter the quality of cervical mucus to prevent. Yeah, that's correct. So first option says that they inhibit ovulation. Inhibit ovulation, implantation is right. Ovulation is right. Okay. Second says that they alter the cervical mucus. They alter so that they prevent the entry or they retard the entry of sperm. Both are right. Okay. They change the type of cervical mucus so that sperms will not survive in that area. That's both of them are right. Then third option says prevent the ejaculated sperm from entering vagina. They will not do that. Right? Preventing is by physically they have to stop. Right? Then inhibit spermatogenesis will not happen. Therefore, the option B says first and second two statements are right. Therefore, the option is B. Okay? Just see how many questions I have done already. Then, 35th question. Iuds prevent the pregnancy. How? 35th question is giving how Iuds stop pregnancy. They inhibit the uterine physiological and morphological changes required for implantation. They inhibit, what they do is inhibit the uterine physiological and morphological is correct. They change it. Next is increase in phagocytosis of spermatozoa within the uterus, because like copper T and all, if they use copper ions are released, they will actually kill the sperms. Right? They do phagocytosis of the sperms. Then suppressing the motility of the sperms as well as their fertilizing capacity is also true. All are correct. That is the 35th option is right. Right? In 35th question, D is right, because all the statements given are correct options. What is the work of copper T? 36th question. To inhibit ovulation, they will not do, because copper T is implanted in the uterine wall. It will not stop ovulation. Second is it inhibits fertilization, because I told you copper is spermicidal. It kills sperms. Therefore, the B option is right. To inhibit implantation of blastocysts, they will not do. Actually, what is the copper T? First thing is it is killing the fertilization. 36th question. What it is saying? What is copper T doing? Copper T is inhibiting ovulation. It will not do. It inhibits fertilization. No, it will help in fertilization. It will not connected with the fertilization, but it inhibits the implantation of the blastocyst. Is right. Right? Copper T, it inhibits the implantation. All of them they do the same thing. All the Iuds do stop implantation. Therefore, it is right. So first option, inhibit ovulation is wrong. Inhibit fertilization is wrong, because fertilization is not connected with copper T. Then it inhibits implantation of blastocysts is the right answer. It inhibits the gametogenesis is wrong. Therefore, among all the four answers, C is right, because any type, right, any of the Iud you think of, they will inhibit implantation only. So a lot of questions we discussed on the methods of the family plannings or contraceptive methods and increase in population, and also we spoke about the last one about the sexually transmitted diseases. So let me end the chapter reproductive health here. Then tomorrow or next class onwards I am going to start with the plant reproduction, its transcend questions. Okay, done then.